you enjoy the food. You can always go to the back and grab some more during the presentations. So I'm Marcus, I'm sharing the second session. We have one more talk to go, and then we have two demos. The two demos are by Social Walk again and by Seesmic, who will give first the second talk. So I invite forward Shunjie from Seesmic Web. He's one of their developers, and he will talk on building a Seesmic Web Twitter client in GWT.
Okay. Okay. Hi everyone, this is Shunjie from Seesmic. I'm a web developer there. So I'm going to talk about building Seesmic Web Twitter client in GWT. So for my presentation is a little bit similar to the previous one that you have seen, but you won't be seeing any codes in this presentation. So it's more of a sharing from a developer's point of view, the problems that we face when we develop in GWT, and any tips that I want to share with you guys. So this is Seesmic. What we do is that we develop desktop and web applications for Facebook and Twitter. So alright, and for Seesmic Web. So Seesmic Web is a featured application on GWT Gallery. So if you go to gwtgallery.export.com, you can see Seesmic Web as the featured application. And it's a web application that is built on Google Web Toolkit. And basically it enables you to manage your Twitter account and in the very soon future Facebook account also. Right, so why do we want to build Seesmic Web? I mean, Twitter itself, alright, is already a web application. So it makes more sense for us to build a desktop application rather than a web application, right? Well, we ask ourselves, what is Twitter? And the answer is it's all about information. Alright, anyone here in this room does not have a Twitter account? Come on, go get one after this. Okay. Alright, so before I move on, I will show you just a quick 1 minute showcase of what Seesmic is. Later in the second part of the session, then I will demo it more thoroughly. So try to. Okay. So basically, I can log in, right? And sorry, mouse. Well, as you can see, this is GWT in action. So loads fast, and what you can see here is Seesmic loading the different timelines. So if you look at the sg-gtug, this is all the timeline right now that you guys are twinning. So yeah, if I scroll down, then I can see more. So as you guys twin now, then we will see more twins over here. Alright, so basically this is a very simplified view of Twitter, whereby you can see your timeline, your mentions and everything in one glance. Alright, so I'll go into more details and the features of it later during the second session. So let's get back to the slides. Alright, so we want a better way of presenting Twitter in the UI that is coherent from one view. Alright, and this is your conversation view, your direct messages. So instead of going through pages, you can see all the direct messages in a sort of a IM way. Alright, so let's get to the technical part. So for the architecture of building a Seesmic web, this is the overall architecture. Basically, we have a Seesmic server that does OAuth to Twitter, and through the Seesmic server, we will actually proxy all the Twitter call, like posting your new tweets, getting the direct messages, getting all the different information like your public timeline, your friends' timeline. So the Seesmic server will serve a few purposes. First of all, is caching. All right, we know that sometimes Twitter goes down, and then yeah, you can't use Twitter anymore. But with a Seesmic server in the future, you can still retrieve your old tweets and things like that. And then another thing is that in the future we want to implement like third-party API. So if you are doing stuff like marketing campaign, then we can actually look at your tweets and help you to generate data. Of course, you can say no if you want to have your tweets remain private. So let us focus on the web itself. Alright, so you may ask a question that is, for the web, there is a lot of choices that we can choose from, like JavaScript, HTML, using just jQuery, or just using Flex or Adobe Flex or other RIA technology. So why do we use GWT? Alright, so the answer? Well, because first of all, we need a single dynamic page. Alright, we don't want user to click pages to pages. We want a single page whereby the user can handle and see all their data. And then, as the previous presenter has mentioned, if you want to develop in GWT, then you can use Eclipse IDE. Alright, just download the plugin from Google and then create a new project and off you go. Alright, so it's just that simple. Third is high performance and reliant framework. Alright, if you have been following Seesmic, you'll know that previously we are actually doing our web application in HTML and jQuery. Alright, so that is not exactly very reliant. Alright, in the sense that if you want to change a feature, if you want to remove a feature, or if you want to let it run for, let's say, 2 weeks, okay, in your browser, never close your browser, just run it for 2 weeks and make sure that it's still running, alright, and not hanging your browser, then we want to look for a framework that is high performance. Alright, in fact, I have once run the Seesmic web app, okay, in my IE, and then I forget to off my comp. So 3 weeks later, I go by, it's still running. Alright, so if you try that with some other frameworks, alright, you might not get the performance, because after a while you get memory leaks and so on. Ease of debugging, alright, because it's using Java and the Eclipse IDE, you can debug it very easily. There is breakpoints, you can step through your codes, and yeah, it's just very simple. Browser compatibility, as the previous presenter has mentioned, you can be at rest that it will work on IE, Firefox, Safari, and even Google Chrome. And we even try on the Google Chrome build for Mac, and it works also. Alright, so yeah, it works on all the different browsers. So this is from a developer's point of view. How about in the long run? Okay, in the long run, when we try to build applications in, let's say, in just HTML and jQuery, we run into this problem whereby it's hard to reuse components that we have developed, okay, or even share components. So let's say developer A, alright, he developed a real cool chat application that we want to reuse. Okay, we simply cannot use that because the documentation isn't there. He probably is not following some standards in creating that components. But in GWT, okay, you can easily share components. Components that you have done in the day one of a project can be reused in the second month of a project in some other place. Alright, so it's very easy to build reusable components. Secondly is type language. So you are developing a JavaScript and HTML application in Java. Alright, so you get compile time checking. It's an object-oriented approach programming. So unlike normal JavaScript development, in this case, you have like type checking. you will have if you try to cast from one object to another, you will get an exception from